Imagine a world where animals have claimed regions as their own, creating unique kingdoms where they outnumber or coexist intriguingly with humans. From mischievous baboons in urban settings to wild ponies roaming ancient woodlands, these places highlight the extraordinary dynamics between nature and civilization. In Japan, Tashirojima Island is famously known as Cat Island, where felines outnumber residents. Originally brought for pest control, the cats now live freely, pampered by locals who believe they bring good fortune. You'll find the felines all over the place, but plenty congregate around Nitoda Port on the southeast of the island, lapping up the attention. A visit to the cute cat-sized shrine halfway along the road between Nitoda and Odomari village, dedicated to a furry local accidentally killed by a falling rock, is another must-see for feline fans. Similarly, Okinoshima Island in Japan hosts an intriguing phenomenon with its population of free-roaming rabbits. Quite how the bunnies came to live here is something of a mystery. One theory is they were the result of a colony of test rabbits being freed as the island was a testing ground for poison between 1929 to 1945 by the Japanese army. Another says they multiplied after school children released pets into the wild. Either way, with no natural predators, they thrived and now live here by the thousands. They're a big hit with visitors who make the trip specially to frolic with them. Nearby Miyajima Island, Japan offers a different experience with its graceful sika deer. Considered sacred in Shinto beliefs, these deer roam the island's temples and beaches, embodying a natural harmony that draws tourists year-round. Believed to be the messengers of God in the Shinto religion, the deer have roamed around the mountainous island unhindered for thousands of years. They're very cute and super friendly, although feeding them is prohibited. Some deer still live in the mountains, but many wander through the streets and temples and are partial to lounging on the beach too. In the USA, Assateague Island is home to wild horses, believed to descend from colonial livestock. Local legends tell tales of shipwreck survivors, but their origin remains a part of the island's mystique. However, it's more likely that the horses are descended from those brought to the island in the late 17th century so that their mainland owners could avoid fencing laws and taxation. The inhabited isle is split between the two states. Once a year on the Virginia side, usually in late July, the horses are rounded up by local fire department volunteers and swum across the channel to nearby Chincoteague Island, where the foals and yearlings are auctioned. The event, which has taken place since 1925 and now attracts huge crowds, aims to manage the number of wild horses on Assateague and protect the barrier island's fragile ecology. Hawaii's Kauai Island has its own avian takeover. Wild hens and roosters strutting around car parks, beaches, and roads like they own the place is a commonplace sight on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. It's widely thought that Kauai's population of feral chickens flourished after hurricanes destroyed coops and set domestic chickens free, which then met and bred with the remnants of the Polynesian jungle fowl. With no predators to keep numbers down, they are quite literally ruling the roost. The free-range fowl have become a tourist curiosity, but are also a nuisance for locals with their tendency to crow at antisocial hours, peck around rubbish bins, dig up gardens, and hold up traffic. Such brazen behavior also sees them strutting into restaurants and hotels to peck around diners. For residents in the New Forest, a pretty rural pocket of Hampshire, the sight of a pony walking past your window is not an unusual one. The semi-wild animals have roamed the land here for 2,000 years. They're owned by commoners, a term that dates to when the New Forest was first created in 1079 by William Nairn, but wander the open heath and ancient woodlands as if wild until annual drifts or roundups are held in the summer and autumn. Wherever you go in the New Forest, you'll see the handsome beasts trotting around. Most commonly bay and chestnut in color, the breed is unique to the area. Around 3,000 ponies, free roaming alongside roads. They have the right of way and traffic is restricted to 40 miles per hour, 64 kilometers per h on unfenced roads. Incredible wildlife is everywhere in South Africa, even in urban areas. From the Tokai Forest in Cape Town's southern suburbs to Simonstown and Cape Point in the Cape Peninsula, troops of chacma baboons live in close proximity to humans. It's a little too close for comfort for some residents, with reports of gangs of baboons scavenging from bins, stealing shopping, and ransacking local restaurants and cafes. One of the best places to see them is at the spectacular Cape Point Nature Reserve, where the protected primates can often be seen lounging on car roofs or roaming the beaches, foraging for sandhoppers and shellfish to feast on. They're also partial to raiding picnics, so eat al fresco with care. The Bahamas Big Major K offers an unusual swimming companion, feral pigs. Have you ever swum with turtles, dolphins, and manta rays? How about swine? At Big Major K in the Bahamas, you can go paddling alongside the friendly feral pigs that have made the idyllic uninhabited isle their home. Quite how they came to set up home here is uncertain. Some say they were left on the island by sailors who planned to return to eat them, or that they swam ashore after a shipwreck. The population of around 20 pigs have become a top tourist attraction, and they wallow in the attention, paddling out to greet tourists as they arrive by boat. They'll snuffle around in the hope of a tasty treat, but feeding them is not encouraged. England's Forest of Dean has seen a resurgence of a wild boar once extinct in the area. While some appreciate their return, others grapple with the boar's disruptive habits and the need for population control. Hunted to extinction around 300 years ago, they returned to live in the Forest of Dean after some escaped a wild boar farm and ran into the forest in the 1990s, and more were illegally released in the early 2000s. The forest now has the largest wild boar population in England, and it continues to soar. The feral creatures can wreak havoc on gardens, parks, and sports pitches in the area's towns. Christmas Island's annual red crab migration is a natural spectacle. Millions of crabs cover the island in a vibrant red carpet as they journey to the sea to breed, captivating visitors with their synchronized movement. At the beginning of the wet season, usually October or November, the island's land crabs move en masse from the forest to the coast to breed and release their eggs into the sea. The island is quite literally covered in swarms of the crustaceans, which are unique to Christmas Island. The Australian territory is home to 14 species of land crabs, but it's the bright red crustaceans which it's most famous for. They live in shaded spots around the island's rainforest, eating leaves, seeds, and fruits, and living in burrows until their annual march. Special barriers, tunnels, and bridges have been installed to help funnel them safely to the seashore. Seeing the crabs scuttle across the island has become a top tourist attraction. Seal Island in South Africa is aptly named for its massive population of fur seals. This rocky outcrop is also a shark hotspot, with predators circling the island in pursuit of their prey. Approximately 64,000 fur seals. With no vegetation or human habitation save for the remains of a Second World War radar structure, the seals have the island to themselves, which suits them just fine. However, where the seals go, the sharks follow. Every year, great white sharks arrive in their thousands, encircling the island in what has become known as the Ring of Death, making it very difficult for the seals to leave to hunt for food. Brazil's Snake Island is infamous for its dense population of golden lancehead vipers. The island's isolation from humans is both a protective measure for the snakes and a safety precaution for potential visitors. This 110-acre island off the coast of Brazil, widely known as Snake Island, plays host to an incredible number of golden lancehead vipers, one of the deadliest venomous snakes in the world. Despite the plentiful number on the island, the snakes are actually critically endangered and survive solely on a diet of birds. The snake population is estimated to be between 1 and 5 per square meter, which means that anyone stepping foot on the island would generally be within 3 feet, 1 m, of a deadly serpent at all times. Needless to say, the island is not a major tourist destination. It's actually closed to the public for the protection of both people and snakes, except for select research expeditions. In the town of Puerto Triunfo, Colombia, hippopotamuses have truly taken over. The hippos are the direct descendants of 4 animals kept as part of the notorious drug lord Pablo Escobar's private menagerie on his luxurious estate, Hacienda Napoles. When Escobar was killed, most of his exotic animals were rehoused, but his hippos proved too difficult and expensive to transport and were left to their own devices. Puerto Triunfo now holds the largest population of the animals outside Africa. Experts have estimated that there are between 130 and 160, a number that will only increase as the hippos have no natural predators. And while the so-called cocaine hippos have proved a popular tourist attraction, they're also an invasive species that's wreaking havoc on the local ecosystem. A government program has now been announced to control the population through a mixture of sterilization or transfer to other countries. Gibraltar's biggest claim to fame is probably the enormous limestone monolith that dominates the city skyline. No one is quite sure how the large macaque population reached the British exclave on the southern tip of Spain, and one rather outlandish theory holds that they traveled through a subterranean tunnel under the Straits of Gibraltar from their ancestral home in North Africa. Whatever their origin, the macaques are certainly a well-established part of modern-day Gibraltarian culture. While tourists may think the monkeys look cute and cuddly, locals warn that they can be mischievous, assertive, and aggressive when provoked, and it is illegal to touch or feed them. They are well known to snatch accessories and bags from passers-by, particularly when they think there might be snacks inside. Norway's Runda Island is a bird watcher's paradise, hosting hundreds of thousands of seabirds. The island's steep cliffs and rugged landscape provide an ideal nesting ground for diverse bird species. Colloquially known as Bird Island, the island is home to a population of between 500,000 and 700,000 seabirds during the height of nesting season, including 100,000 pairs of puffins and vast flocks of shags, gannets, and great skua. In fact, the island boasts the widest variety of seabirds found anywhere in Norway, more than 230 registered species, 80 of which have been found breeding. The birds share the island with 113 people, who must be accustomed to having a light dusting of feathers over most of the island for most of the year. The birds are also a significant tourist attraction, particularly during nesting season, with bird watchers traveling from all over the world to see the birds prepare for the next generation. It may sound extreme to say that an entire country has been taken over by one species of animal, but statistics from 2022 show that New Zealand's sheep population outnumbers its human population by 5 to 1. In fact, New Zealand's sheep to people ratio used to be even higher. It reached a historic high in 1982 with an astonishing 22 sheep per person. The country's seismic sheep population is the result of its sheep farming industry, which was long the backbone of the country's economy. In fact, this current population slump represents the lowest number of sheep the country has registered since the Second World War. These animal kingdoms highlight the fascinating interplay between humans and nature, each with its own blend of harmony and challenge, offering a unique glimpse into the dynamics of shared living spaces. Whether it's the friendly cats of Tashirojima or the elusive vipers of Snake Island, each location tells a story of adaptation and survival in an ever-changing environment. Tourists flock to these destinations for a chance to witness the enchanting and sometimes peculiar interactions between wildlife and their human neighbors. The stories of these places are a testament to the adaptability of life and the sometimes surprising ways in which animals can influence human culture and society. Visiting these animal territories offers a chance to reconnect with nature and witness the awe-inspiring ways in which the animal kingdom thrives alongside human development. These animal kingdoms invite us to rethink our relationship with nature, prompting us to consider the impact of our presence in these remarkable ecosystems. As we marvel at these animal havens, it becomes clear that every species has a role in the grand tapestry of life, each contributing to the rich diversity of our planet. Thanks for watching this review. If you made it this far, drop a 100% in the comments. and hit that subscribe and like button